Hey, welcome back to another Black City Coffee vlog. Today we have a question from Jesse's Aquarium. How to buy green beans from farms and how to source them. The thing with, making content online like this, people actually, I've never had to actually reach out to a farm if I was interested to get a green sample or to get green coffee. Now, I've really only done this one time with Siempre Verde Farms, and I'll link them in the description. During my accident when I fell and I broke my back and my neck and stuff, they were so kind, and they sent me these really nice DMs and nice messages and sent me like 350 grams, or I think, of my first anaerobic washed process coffee from them, from their farm. And this was their coffee. Like, they had one lot of this, they had one harvest of it. And they chose to send me that much during that time and wished me well and everything. And that was the first sample that it really drove me to want to get out of bed and roast again and make my days less boring and less about the thing I was dealing with, and focus on something else, which was coffee. So I've really only done that one time where I've bought green, where I was like, dude, this is amazing green. It was my first anaerobic process, that wine flavor that I chase and I want to offer all the time on the menu here. But after they sent me that sample, I was just so kind of like smitten with it. Had a long conversation. First it started on Instagram. And then I said, hey, let's move this over to email, just so everything was well documented and, professional. There, I had no idea what to ask for. So I said, hey, so like, how does this work if I want to buy, and I wanted to buy a lot. Like, I wanted to buy like 35 kilo of this coffee. And I really had no idea what to expect, but I was like, I'm really loving this coffee, and if you give me the price per pound, and if I feel like that was okay, then let's go for it. And the price per pound was around, oh Lord, I should have written all this down. Maybe 5 something, right? So what they did was, the thing was, when you order, green from outside of the country directly from a farm, you may have to be dealing with importer fees and customs and stuff like that. The thing particular with this one, with this farmer, it was a little different in that it was still semi like indirect. So I wasn't directly dealing with a farmer, because what this farm does, and what most farms do to kind of get around these customs things, like if they were to reach out to you like a home roaster, what they do is they go to a big coffee importer. I think this one for Siempre Verde Farms, they use Caravella. Oh, I'll get it right and I'll put it in the description, okay? This coffee importer imports their coffee for them and then holds them in lots at different locations in the United States, because they're gonna try to move this coffee in the US, right? So they had a lot being held, dang, now I forget where it was. I forget now where it was. It was either in Minnesota or straight up in LA. So I forget, that's how it works, okay? And then I was like, so how are you gonna get it to me? How are you gonna ship it to me in a reasonable shipping rate? Because I'm already spending $400 some on this 35 kilo bag or something like that. It was like a little half bag size. And he's like, oh, so what we do is we put it in, we'll separate it. We'll make that 35 kilo even smaller, and we'll parse it out and put them in large USPS flat rate boxes, and we'll ship you like 5 of these boxes. And I was like, all right. and that kind of saved on shipping. So using USPS priority flat rate large boxes and then parsing it out. And at the time, like when it got to me, boxes were all kind of mangled and everything. And they're like, they were really, we were kind of like working together in that. They're like, hey, like, this is the first time we're doing this with like a home roaster. Please be kind and be compassionate and patient with us. So I was like, yeah, dude, like it's all good, I think, as long as there's not, missing green that I'm being charged for, or something like that, right? So something obvious. And we had one missing box. So I got 4 boxes, I think, or something like that. And then we were missing one, and then we had to wait maybe a day or something like that. So I got the last box. And then I know I have footage of me just emptying all of that coffee into one of my green coffee bins here. It cost me probably around $500, $600, something like that, somewhere in that range altogether, from Ecuador, right? So this was a single origin coffee from Ecuador. But how it works is you have a contact who speaks English, who's familiar with, you know, selling coffee to people here in the States, and all of the payment was taken care of over Venmo at the time. And at this time, Venmo had not initiated any fees for like large transactions like this. And I think the payment schedule that I did was like half now, half when it arrives, or something like that. So it was like a half now, half later kind of deal. And it seemed fine to me. And I handled all communication over mostly through email, and I felt comfortable with that. And a lot of times I think with you guys, you know, if you find a producer, and I suggest starting at Instagram. I think Instagram is a really good place to, you know, discover and explore really cool brands and maybe go through that like that. But I've never actually gone directly to the farmer, dealing with a farmer on email with no importer in play, right? Like you're just directly with the farmer there. I've never done that. So I don't have any experience there. If they do it in the way that I explained to you, that how Siempre Verde Farms did it, you save yourself a lot of headache in that you don't have to deal with possibly customs or just that country to country stuff that you probably are not familiar with if this is the first time you've done it, right? I know I don't want to deal with that. I just want to get the coffee, roast, and get to the, how fast can I get to roasting this coffee? And if I have to pay a little bit more for more convenience, I'm okay with that, because, you know, everybody in the chain is important. And so I don't really mind contributing to that chain to get to me here in my little home. I feel like it's such a low amount anyway, the margins that everybody in the chain is kind of making on coffee, just because of this long journey it has to travel to get here and actually be packaged in a nice little bag for people. So I don't feel bad about it at all, about what I paid, or the amount that I do need to pay for any, you know, step in the process of specialty coffee in particular, okay? But yeah, Instagram is a great place. You can hit that, like, when you go to Instagram. If you don't have Instagram, you know, you can follow me on Instagram, or at Black City Coffee, that search button, and then just go like, I don't know, like coffee farm. Oh yeah, there's a ton. There's a ton. And really this is all like how you feel too. Like you need to feel comfortable with whomever you're dealing with. You know, if you feel that it's not a good deal, or you feel pressured in any way, don't feel obligated to pay. You know what I mean? Like, don't feel obligated to keep going. So normal human, you know, gut feelings and communication skills and respect on both ends is necessary if you're going to deal with any sort of, you know, whenever you're buying coffee from anybody, all that applies. But yeah, for me nowadays, I love this relationship that I'm nurturing with Hasea Coffee. They're an importer, so they talk to the farmer directly, and I trust them to just do that, you know? And if I organically create a relationship with a producer or a farmer, like for example, somebody just reached out to me again. He sent me a long DM. And he sent me pictures of actual, like, his coffee here on drying beds. Isn't that cool? So having a relationship with a farmer, I think is a really awesome way to not only learn and get educated and stuff like that, but maybe make a friend. Maybe, I don't know, like having the ability to visit Origin one day or something like that. I'm not really, I don't know if I'm gonna be into that. I'm not a big travel bug. I don't really like traveling. And I think it's a major time investment, but I think the reward is definitely there for somebody who wants to go that route. And I think it's so awesome. I think, you know, things like Instagram make that possible, because they really give you a good snapshot of who a producer is. And you can kind of suss out what kind of communicator they are on the DMs, you know. And to me, if you're in my DMs and if I want to take it to the next level of actually buying, I will move it into email, you know, something a little bit more professional, because Instagram still feels very casual to me. But I'm sure major deals are happening on Instagram, you know, in the DMs and stuff. Anyway, so that's how I do it, Jesse. I try to really just give you a good idea, like an honest conversation about that. For the most part, moving forward, it really has to be something special and a great price point for me to buy from a farmer directly. And I know it requires just a little bit more time. It's more coordination. It's more emailing, and I already do that for my job, and I don't like emailing. So, you know, to each his own, but that's how I do it. And I think it's an amazing way to get connected and to learn for sure, and to keep sharing this amazing thing of coffee. So I hope that helps. Start with Instagram, build some relationships in the DMs, move it over to email if you feel like it needs to be a little bit more professional. Use your human natural instincts on communication and all things. Be respectful, be compassionate, but also don't feel like you need to buy anything if you're not feeling it. If you don't love it, you know, if you don't love the deal or whatever, don't feel obligated, don't feel guilty. Okay, and you know, cup those coffees and make sure you're buying for a really good reason. You know why you're buying, and not just, you know, I want to support the farmer, or, you know, has to check all the boxes when you do this, I think, to me, to make it worth it. You know what I mean? You're taking all these extra steps yourself, so it has to be worth it for you. And that's just good business, right? Okay, good things. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.